The last and final step of the action brief that the National Alliance put out is educating all employees about the value of biosimilars. We want to make sure that the employees and the patient understand what are biosimilars, what's the value of having them, how are they going to improve access and assure continuity of treatment for employers, and make sure to address all the misnomers that these are not the cheaper medications and therefore they're not going to be as effective as the biologicals or the originators. They're also not the generic of that originator, and this could be done through several venues. It could be done through the employer themselves. It could be done through the PBM. It could be done through the health plan. And there are currently a lot of resources out there to help with that education. And employers can simply tap into those resources through employers coalitions, through the PBM, through the pharmacy benefit consultant. And for some employers, they're actually reaching out to the manufacturer themselves and obtaining these educational materials so that they can provide it to their members. Engaging employees to look at biosimilars as a therapeutic option has been well received by patients. There are some that would come back and say, I've been using this medication for the past 10 years, why would I change now? But in general, I believe that with enough education and explanation to them, it is positively received, especially when you start talking about the cost and how the continuity of care and the continuity of access to medication and the impact of having a lower cost medication versus a high cost medication, and how these costs will eventually trickle down to the employee themselves as the burden increase on employers and the health plans, depending if they're self-insured or commercial insured. These costs will eventually hit the patient and their out-of-pocket costs. And I believe that once that is made clear to the patient and the employees, the acceptance of the patient going to their doctor and asking them to do switch, or the acceptance of them not even starting on a biological, but trying out or starting with the biosimilar first, could be something that they would be engaging their doctors with. Obviously, the tracking the biosimilar uptake is a very important part of this whole process, and it is easily done for employers just by requesting the information from the PBMs, and that's historically has been the most direct way of doing it. You can also request it from the pharmacy benefit consultant to have that, if you have a pharmacy benefit consultant, to have that information for you and to let you know the uptake of biosimilars over current year versus a previous year and in the upcoming years. A third option is to do an audit and look at your plan and the specialty pharmacy cost and get a full evaluation. There's a lot of vendors that can come in and do that for you, and they will tell you where there's potential opportunities for you, and in addition to your current status. Starting a biosimilar program process is still challenging here in the US, and that's what I've seen. Not a lot of plans have these biosimilars covered. I think I read an article that said that looked at 17 different plans, and of the 17, only 7 of them were covering biosimilars. So there's definitely a lot of groundwork that needs to be done to make sure that these are first and foremost available for utilization before we can even go to the point where we see how is the uptake and how's the utilization. So it is a step process, and we're still in that very initial infancy stage compared to Europe and the rest of the world.